It's a common sense recap of the big stories. It's Katz and Cosby on 77 WABC.
The great Bill O'Reilly, the host, of course, of Common Sense with Bill O'Reilly, every weeknight, 9 to 10 p.m., and mega best-selling author. Bill, first, your reaction. You and I haven't had a chance to talk. Everybody here at the Republican National Convention is, of course, thankful that President Trump is doing okay. First of all, the assassination attempt and your thoughts about the big news with J.D. Vance.
Well, a quarter of an inch and Donald Trump's dead. And so the country spirals into chaos politically if that happened. Now, American history has been altered. A number of unintended consequences. I named them on the No Spin News tonight on BillO'Reilly.com. And I deal with some of them on Common Sense at 9 p.m. on WABC tonight. One example is that Joe Biden was very close to losing his slot over the weekend until this terrible thing happened. Now, politics has to be set aside as far as whether Biden makes it or not for at least a week, maybe two. So it bought Biden some time as the momentum against him was growing. That's the biggest one. Second one is you don't know what effect this is going to have on Donald Trump psychologically. And I get into that because I wrote Killing Reagan, and Reagan came very close to death as well, and it changed his whole life. Changed him physically, changed him mentally. You just don't recover from something like that very quickly. Now, Trump is resilient. You saw him obviously react after he was shot, but it has to have an effect, and we don't know what that effect will be. So you got to be honest about that. As far as Vance is concerned, it's kind of befuddling. He's not going to get Donald Trump any votes. I wrote a message of the day, just filed it on BillO'Reilly.com. It looks to me like an in-your-face move by Donald Trump saying, hey, we're going to MAGA all the way. We're not going to make any compromises. I'm going with the biggest MAGA guy I can find, and that's Vance. And
it's interesting, Bill. I thought the same thing too. I was thinking the same thing. What did you think? Do you think that was the right choice? What's your thought on that?
If I would not have done it if I were Trump, because Trump needs votes. I would have picked Marco Rubio out of the men he was considering. I think that the governor of Arkansas, Huckabee Sanders, would have been the best choice for him. And I don't think she wants it, but Trump's got to put together a coalition. MAGA's not going to make it a sure win. But he's looking at Michigan. He's looking at Wisconsin. He's looking at these working-class states that Vance has big appeal. So it's not total in your face. There is some calculation. But Rubio would give him momentum in the Hispanic precincts. And if Trump can carry 50% of the Hispanic American vote, he wins. And Rubio is a very, very smart foreign policy guy, where Vance, he's against giving aid to Ukraine. And to those of us who understand the situation there, Trump does not define Ukraine at all. We don't know where Trump is on it. But Vance has been very outspoken is that we shouldn't be doing this over there. Now, is Vance going to do what Trump tells him to do? Yes. Does anyone vote for vice president? No. But I think it's more of an in-your-face, here we come, MAGA people, we're going to take over.
Yeah, I think so, too. Hey, Bill, also big stuff on the news front. Talk about Morning Joe, Bill O'Reilly.
Well, we did a special report, Rita, on Saturday night right after the assassination attempt. And I said that there's a hate brigade in the United States that is paid by corporations. And heading the list of the hate brigade is MSNBC. And I ran a clip of Scarborough just calling Trump a Nazi and this and his vile stuff every blanking day on that show. And I wasn't surprised they pulled it, they being Comcast NBC, because they're in trouble now. These haters, and not just on the left, The haters on the right, too. They're in trouble. The spotlight's on them. And they're receding. And the second most hateful program on the air is The View. And I watched it today, just, when I came out. They could not restrain themselves. They didn't use personal attacks, but it was all about white man shooting Trump, Republican registered. They couldn't stop. And Disney can't control them, doesn't want to control them. And I think Americans have had enough now. So these people are going to pay a big, big price. And Morning Joe got a taste of that today.
What do you think, Bill, is going to happen when we hear from President Trump? They're expecting him to speak tonight. I'm here at the Republican National Convention. I mean, it's just an incredible moment in history given what's happened, of course, as you brought up with Biden, but also as we've seen what happened, sadly, with President Trump over the weekend with that assassination attempt. And also, what do you think we're going to hear when he accepts the nomination formally, which is going to happen just a few days from now here where I am in Milwaukee at the Republican National Convention, because there's reports out that he's changed a little bit his tone of his speech to make it more of a unifying type speech. How do you see his messaging?
Well, the first round is going to be about the man who was killed and the two people who were wounded.
Absolutely heartbreaking.
He's going to present himself as like, I'm okay, but look at this. And then it'll be a pep rally about Vance. That'll be the first round tonight. The speech, that's true. He is becoming more conciliatory in his wording of the speech, which is a smart move because both Biden and Trump have used provocative personal attacks. They have. And that really has to stop, I think.
Yeah, I think in very many ways for the good of the country. Real quick, too, what else? What did you make of Nikki Haley? We just have about 30 seconds left because she's going to be speaking here at the convention. That's an interesting move.
Yeah, and I think it's a smart move. Miss Haley competed. She wasn't in the mud. She's an accomplished woman, a Republican. Why would you deny her a platform to speak? We're all about competition. Trump beat her. Okay, but she certainly has a right to get up there and tell the American people what she believes and why she believes it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a very powerful message of unifying with the Republican Party. She's speaking, as we know, also DeSantis later on this week. Bill, thank you. We will all definitely be tuning in to Common Sense with Bill O'Reilly at 9 p.m. Eastern Time tonight. Bill, thank you. Love having you here.
Thanks for having me, Rita.